I won't let my active psoriatic arthritis joint symptoms define me.
Emerge as you. Tremfya guselkumab is proven to significantly reduce joint pain, stiffness, and swelling in adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Some patients even reported less fatigue as assessed by survey 1 week prior. Results may vary. Tremfya is taken by injection 6 times a year after 2 starter doses at weeks 0 and 4.
Serious allergic reactions may occur. Tremfya may increase your risk of infections and lower your ability to fight them. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms of infection, including fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough. Tell your doctor if you had a vaccine or plan to.
Emerge as you. Learn more about Tremfya, including important safety information, at tremfya.com or call 1-877-578-3527. See our ad in Food and Wine magazine. For patients prescribed Tremfya, cost support may be available.
The South Dakota Stories, Volume 7. My trip to South Dakota was the best summer ever. Now I don't need to go to Mars, because I've been to the Badlands. And I caught a bigger walleye than Dad when we went to the Missouri River. Then I rode my bike through these huge rocks called needles. Ooh, I also saw my first herd of bison, even a fuzzy furry baby one. I can't wait to go back and see more. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Welcome back to the Jello Jiggling podcast. I am the host, Ryan Ward, and shit's getting real. Lakers have officially punched their ticket to the first round of the NBA playoffs after dismantling the New Orleans Pelicans in 2 games. Even though Zion dropped 40 and looked pretty good and did what he probably should have done in the first game against the Lakers, it wasn't enough. Lakers still prevailed, and now they will face the incredibly tough challenge of taking on Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, who are the 2nd seed in the West, with the Oklahoma City Thunder getting the top spot. Obviously, the Lakers clinched the 7th seed with beating the Pelicans. So that sets up for the one matchup that the Lakers probably didn't want, especially after I kind of dug into the numbers a little bit and saw some things where I was like, man, this is going to be potentially painful. I mean, obviously remain optimistic because never know what happens. You know, the playoffs, everybody starts at 0, blah, 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 cliche. But the Denver Nuggets have beaten the Lakers 8 straight times, going back to the Western Conference Finals where they got swept in 4 games. And then they got swept in the season series, 4-0, even though there were some, highlights in there, like the last game that they played against each other is close. Denver just has their number, man. Trying to find positives going into this game, and the only thing I can think of really is just riding that underdog label, and everybody's kind of writing them off and acting like it's an impossible hill to climb when it's not. I mean, it's incredibly tough. It's the worst possible scenario they could have gotten, to be honest. But it doesn't mean it's insurmountable, especially with what the team did last year, getting all the way to the West Finals from the play-in tournament. This team, when they play up to their potential, they're really good, and they can play with anybody. But it's just, you just don't know what you're getting from night to night. I mean, it's like I go back to like that Memphis game when you're playing a bunch of G League players and they're hanging like the whole game. I mean, Memphis should have won that game, really. But they didn't, because they're a bunch of G League players. And in the end, the pros come through. But that just goes to show, like, any given night, this Lakers team can either show up or not. And I think that's why they're, I wouldn't call them a mediocre, but I would say they're a middle of the pack team, right? They're not a great team by any means. They're a good team, but they're not a great team. And they have a lot of flaws. And I think Anthony Davis kind of pointed out what their biggest flaw will be if they do indeed lose to the Nuggets is it means the defense didn't show up. Davies had a quote where he said that we have to hang our hats on defense, and that is totally true. If they can't contain this Denver team, which is incredibly explosive and dynamic and can get literally everybody involved, they don't stand a chance no matter what they do offensively. They got to contain these guys. It's got to be all about defense and then taking what you get offensively. So right now, as a Friday night, 6:00 Pacific, the Nuggets are heavy favorites, minus 420. And to put that in perspective in terms of heavy favorite, and this is from FanDuel, Phoenix is favored over Minnesota, which I was kind of surprised by, minus 140. Dallas is favored over the Clippers, minus 134. Dallas Clippers, I kind of got that. That's kind of a coin flip series, but Minnesota's been better than Phoenix all year long. It's just more of like, KD, the experience factor, I guess. But in order to win $100, you have to put $420 down. Whereas the other ones are the totally opposite, not the opposite, but just a lot less money to win your money back or win $100. So that kind of goes to show you how much of a favorite they are. I didn't see the line for the first game. I'm assuming it's going to be probably around minus 7. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I hate doing this. Oh, I was pretty close. Minus 7.5. Denver, obviously. At home in Denver at Ball Arena. Over under 223.5. That's kind of sounds right. It's a little low scoring, I guess. Well, it depends. But yeah, so huge hill to climb, and incredibly good team to try and beat in a 7-game series. That's another thing I think people are forgetting. Like winning 4 games against a really good team is very, very difficult. I mean, that's the reason why, winning a championship is so damn hard. Well, the reason why Denver won their first last year, it's just tough. So getting by these guys, and on top of that, they're not going to have game 1 because they just tweeted out, or the team sent us the status report. No Vando, surprise, surprise. No Cam, who's got an ankle injury, and no Christian Wood, who I think is officially done for the season, but they won't say that. But the Vando thing is very concerning because it's one of those typical things that NBA teams do. They just kind of hold out hope for, a key player to come back. But he ain't, especially after the report today. Dave McMenamin was in practice, and he said that Vando was wearing a walking boot on his foot. So he hasn't taken a step closer. He's taken a step back, because whenever you're wearing a walking boot, something has just happened, right? I mean, anybody knows that. So I don't think you can count on Vando for this series. I don't think you can count on him for the rest of the playoffs. I think he's done. And I already thought that. But the walking boot on top of it, that's just like, he must have just heard it in rehab somehow. Probably just tweaked it or whatever. I mean, it's easy to do that with an injury like that. So it's a damn shame, though, man, because if he came back with AD saying, like, how you have to hang your hat on defense, you could hang your hat on defense, and you could probably depend way more on this team defensively if Vando was back, in front of AD, with AD guarding the hoop and Vando being your best on-ball defender. But that ain't the case. And then you got Cam, who's out too. I know Cam doesn't do anything offensively. But that's not what you're asking for him. You're just asking for defense, right? You just want him to stick a guy. Well, which, I mean, Gabe Vincent has played pretty well defensively. He hasn't done much either offensively, but at least they have him. But they can't count on these other guys, which is a damn shame. It's a real bummer because I think it would be a different series. I wouldn't call the Nuggets an overwhelming. I'd still call them the favorite, but I wouldn't call them overwhelming, potential sweep or one game for the Lakers kind of series. So that really sucks. But it seems like everybody's jacked up for this, and they should be, right? Like Reeves is super excited to go to battle. I love the way this guy talks when he's into it, right? He's a passionate kid, and I think he plays better when the game is it's got more meaning to it. I think he's proven that time and time again. And then LeBron kind of praised Jokic a bit, which I thought was interesting. But I mean, LeBron always kind of says things that are super obvious and tries to make them sound complex. He says Jokic scoring makes him a more dynamic passer, which is obvious, right? Because the more you score, the more you get doubled, the more people are open and cutting, and it's easier to pass. And you become a dual threat. LeBron's been doing that forever. And the cool thing I thought was he kind of, alluded to that it's the same way that he kind of plays. And he put him in the category 4 guys. Only 4 guys in NBA history. I don't know. I'm not like saying he was going to list everybody as a great passer, but the way that they pass and the way that they can, if the scoring ain't working, they can lean on their passing. If their passing ain't too sharp, they can score like crazy. Luka Doncic, great comp. Luka's incredible at both. Just a terrible defender. Magic Johnson, absolutely incredible. You probably wouldn't see any of these guys playing the way they play today if it weren't for Magic Johnson, because he set that precedent. I don't think Magic is as good a scorer as any of the other 3. He could score when you needed it. It's like when Shaq said, I make the free throws that count, right? Or when we need them or whatever. I think Magic was kind of the same way. If you need me to score 30, I can score 30. If you need me to score 40, I can score 40. But don't count on it, right? He's more likely to get 15 assists than he is to get 25 points, 30 points, whatever. So, and then Luka, Magic, Joker, and then LeBron himself, which is totally on point. Arguably the 4 best scorers / passers we've ever seen. I mean, you could put Larry Bird in there too. But I don't think LeBron likes to say anything to praise any kind of Celtic ever. And then that's not just the Lakers Celtics thing. I think he just got some real bad blood with all the racial crap they've been throwing at him over the years, which I think he unleashed on last year, which I thought was interesting. I thought it was.
I won't let my active psoriatic arthritis joint symptoms define me.
Emerge as you. Tremfya guselkumab is proven to significantly reduce joint pain, stiffness, and swelling in adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Some patients even reported less fatigue as assessed by survey 1 week prior. Results may vary. Tremfya is taken by injection 6 times a year after 2 starter doses at weeks 0 and 4.
Serious allergic reactions may occur. Tremfya may increase your risk of infections and lower your ability to fight them. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms of infection, including fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough. Tell your doctor if you had a vaccine or plan to.
Emerge as you. Learn more about Tremfya, including important safety information, at tremfya.com or call 1-877-578-3527. See our ad in Food and Wine magazine. For patients prescribed Tremfya, cost support may be available.
The South Dakota Stories, Volume 5. South Dakota seemed like the perfect place to unplug. But I ended up connecting to the world around me. A world where each sunset was painted, where I felt adventure's pulse with every step, and where cold water trickling, pine swaying and grunting bison became my favorite soundtracks. I just wish I didn't have to leave. There's so much South Dakota, so little time.
Awesome that he said it, because I haven't heard anybody else say that stuff. Even though I think Bill Russell back in the day used to say how he didn't like it, and I think he had an interesting relationship with the fans over there. Anyway, that's besides the point. Gabe Vincent also said it's a matchup I think that everybody in this building wanted, which I thought was an interesting quote, because LeBron kind of said the opposite. Not that they wanted it, but he's downplaying the bad blood, downplaying the kind of revenge factor, which, come on, man, that's what fuels athletes. That's what fuels stars. That's what fuels, sports in general. Bad blood and wanting to beat the crap out of the team that kicked the crap out of you. If they've lost 8 times in a row, don't you think there's a little bit of like, damn, I want to destroy these guys? I mean, Kobe be the first one to say, I want to destroy these guys. Jordan, Magic, Bird, all these guys. I don't know why LeBron shies away from it. I don't know if he's scared of it becoming a narrative or what, but it's inevitable, dude. I mean, after what happened with the Western Conference Finals and his retirement thing, and then Mike Malone going off in the parade all hammered, which I thought was hilarious. He turned into a different person. And then Malone came up with a smart quote: 8 wins in a row doesn't mean anything. And he's damn right. It's an edge. It's a mental edge. It is. Because the minute things go awry for the Lakers, it's going to be like, oh, same old shit, But you got to go in with them. That's a championship coach right there. That's a guy that knows his stuff, right? Like, I think Ham just kind of spews out cliche after cliche, and it's the same damn press conference every time. But I respect Malone. I think he's got to be one of the best head coaches in the league, if not at least top 5, right? With like Spoelstra. But embrace it, man. Embrace the fact that you want to beat the crap out of these guys. And what is it going to do? It's going to motivate a team that's already better than you, like that's at least on paper, So I just don't shy away from it. It becomes more of a story when you shy away from it, in my opinion. But that's what happens with LeBron sometimes. I'm not quite sure why he does that, but he's like trying to control the narrative. And then the next Laker he comes up just says the complete opposite. It's like, well, but Gabe says, everybody in the building wants this matchup. Like I said, they should, because if the Lakers beat the Nuggets in this first round, they are going to be a very dangerous team moving forward. And I think they're going to scare the shit out of everybody. I mean, Boston, OKC, Minnesota, Phoenix, whoever's left standing, Dallas, Clippers, whoever it is, if they take them down, I don't care if it's 7 games, whatever, because it might need to be 7 games for it to happen. But that happens, and it's a whole new ballgame. In fact, I'll bet you if that happens, I don't know if they'd be the favorite to come out the West, because I think the only way it happens really is if Murray goes down or Jokic goes down, and they're just not the same team without them. Especially Jokic changed the whole series a bit. I think the Nuggets have kind of gotten used to playing without Murray, even though he's a game changer in the playoffs. That kid's a stud. Hits big shot after big shot. Knows how to play off Jokic better than anybody. But that would be interesting. If that happens, that all the talking head shows, that's all they'll talk about for about a week straight. And then I'm not sure who they play next. Is it the winner of Phoenix, Minnesota? But I do like the Lakers odds if they can get past this juggernaut. I just don't see them getting past Jokic and these guys, because they're just too damn. I always describe them as the best. They play the best team basketball. because it's not about one guy. I mean, Jokic in the end of the game might have 30 points, 16 assists, and 15 boards or whatever, but he does all the right things at the right time, you know? I mean, essentially, he's got that feel of LeBron in his prime, right? Or LeBron sometimes when he turns it on, like he did against New Orleans. Not this past game, but the one before, where he's dishing like 17 assists or whatever, and it's just out of nowhere. He just turns it on. But Jokic does that every night, like every damn night. And it's crazy to watch because he does it at his own pace. He controls the game in a way that I don't see anybody else in the league doing right now. That's what makes him so damn good. And it just, all the role players around him just fit like a perfect puzzle, right? Every guy's a piece that just fits right where he's supposed to go. Like that silly saying, be a star in your role. I hate that saying, but that's what the Nuggets do. They just have guys that don't play beyond their capability, and they fit. KCP, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., even though he's streaky, this guy Christian Braun. They just fit. They just fit. And if they're playing their top flight basketball, no one's beating them, Boston included. I just don't see it. It's hard to envision. I mean, like I said, anything's possible, and that's what you got to think in the playoffs, and that's the way I'm sure the Lakers are thinking right now and heading in. But I do think another key matchup that could be a way to slow down Jokic is if AD gets fed the ball consistently, and you got Jokic guarding him, get him into foul trouble, tire his ass out. Even though, what's funny about Jokic is he plays in Denver, obviously with the altitude and everything. The dude always looks tired, but I don't think he ever is, right? And he's got some weight on him. He's got some fluff, right? But it doesn't matter. The guy just balls all the time. It never seems too worn out, but I mean, they're going to have to, AD's going to have to do his best, and AD's going to have to try to stay out of foul trouble himself, which has been a problem at times, and especially against other bigs that are competent, right? Not, competent and not superstars to say, which it's going to be even tougher. But I think Lakers just have to have a great all-around performance. They have to, and they can't miss a beat. They have no margin for error, which makes this such a tough matchup. But you know what? Game one's going to be a feeling out process. If they can get this one down, and I honestly think if they're going to win a game in this series, it's going to be the first one, right? Where you set the tone, you feel out everybody. I think the Lakers are going to be super amped and ready for this matchup, as will the Nuggets. But I just there should be more fuel for the Lakers. The Lakers should be super motivated. Nuggets are probably going through the motions, right? Hard to get pumped up when you've already won a title and everybody's calling you the best team and saying that this series is a joke and it's gonna be another sweep coming, and you got all the motivation, Lakers. It's on you now. You got to come through. Just go one game at a time. And another damn cliche, but that is true. So we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what goes down tomorrow night in Denver, and whether or not the narrative changes, series changes, odds change. Hopefully it's just not another run-of-the-mill kind of Denver win and they didn't break a sweat. Right? So you got to make these guys work. So hopefully that happens. Until next time, I'll try and get on here before game 2, which I think is Monday till Sunday. And we'll see where we're at. All right. Later.
I won't let my active psoriatic arthritis joint symptoms define me.
Emerge as you. Tremfya guselkumab is proven to significantly reduce joint pain, stiffness, and swelling in adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Some patients even reported less fatigue as assessed by survey 1 week prior. Results may vary. Tremfya is taken by injection 6 times a year after 2 starter doses at weeks 0 and 4.
Serious allergic reactions may occur. Tremfya may increase your risk of infections and lower your ability to fight them. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms of infection, including fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough. Tell your doctor if you had a vaccine or plan to.
Emerge as you. Learn more about Tremfya, including important safety information, at tremfya.com or call 1-877-578-3527. See our ad in Food and Wine magazine. For patients prescribed Tremfya, cost support may be available.
You know when you're listening to a true crime story that has an unbelievable plot twist that makes you stop in your tracks? That's what our podcast, People Are the Worst, brings you with each episode. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Rebecca. We're identical twins who love true crime cases that make you say, didn't see that coming, and we hate the people responsible for them. Listen to People Are the Worst now on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.